to have for just delaying. Like, you've got Sage thrown in onto Braves, literally has slows. You've got the fragments, you've got Viper, and you've also got all of Astra's utility. Or maybe you don't, because Mistic is already dead.
Wow. As a once great man, as a great man once said.
As a once great man.
I shouldn't quote it anymore. I'm not going to quote it anymore. I've ruined it. I'll get in trouble. Well, great sayings have been said before. This round is going to G2. Those are the two takeaways as they flawlessly overwhelm the B site and pick up the attack pistol on split. Tom, it's like gold dust. Any rounds you can get on the attack here, you'll take.
Yeah, a pistol in general for G2 seems like gold dust, but especially going into the third map after having an incredible comeback, they are definitely a team that have players that just the momentum alone will be able to pull them through. And especially after we saw, I think it was Hoody have a fairly slow start in the last. I think Meddo as well when it came down to the first map. So just making sure that the team morale is high is going to be incredibly important. And yeah, as you sort of mentioned, if they can get some solid attacker side rounds, well, their composition sort of leans into that, but at the same time, their opponents, I feel like, almost leans into the defensive side.
It sets up an interesting half then. Oh, Boaster, little right click out, the classic. Good for damage, but not the kill this time around. You know, okay, decent by Magnum. One more kill here would be fantastic for FNATIC, and that nade's gonna do damage and take Meddo down.
That's a rifle. Now, there should be absolutely no way they're able to get it, but they might be able to stop their opponents. Never mind. Look at the Spectre Collat. Not something you're going to see too often in G2. Well, they lose a couple of players along the way, but it could have been much, much worse.
Oh, that could have been an absolute disaster. Yeah, they can be thankful with the way they've managed to make it out of there. I'm seeing a lot of investment coming through on keloqz, which makes sense when you see he's just 3 orbs away, or ult points rather, away from grabbing himself a Blade Storm. So he buys the Vandal here, gives himself a good opportunity. AvovA's decided to take the pistol. Fair play. I think it makes sense as well, though, playing the smokes. He's going to be removed from a lot of the action. He's going to be trying to assist kills more so than get involved in them here in the attack. At least you would think so. He's holding mid and taking a lot of swings.
Mistic has tried to slow the push in. It has delayed a lot of the early presence. Derke as well is going to find that initial frag, and the trade's still going back thick and fast, though. A little bit of an awkward spot now for Derke to be in, but luckily he's got teammates alongside him. That's not what he meant to do.
Yeah, that's not the nade he was looking for. He's got the reload off at least. The flash popped, and there's the swing. Oh, that was very nice indeed. Derke with 4 kills, 1 away from ult, and Boaster deserves the credit. That flash was fantastic.
It was the sacrificial nade. It was almost just to confuse the opposition into believing that he wasn't a good Raze player, and then he just peeks out and kills everybody off. A good return to form for FNATIC. An important one at that, especially the way the round was going initially. G2 made it incredibly costly, but also had a very real chance of actually winning the bonus. And we've already seen FNATIC do that across both maps so far. And on the attack side of Split, that's not something that you'd want to see if you're a FNATIC fan.
No, not at all. For G2, bouncing back in with their opportunities, as we said, the bonus being what it is certainly not off the rhythm just yet. Now, a player was spotted outside. It was nukkye. Not sure if anyone else got seen by the knife, but they're certainly suspicious of this kind of push coming through. The snakebite does very little to deter them, though. They just keep on steaming forward.
They wanted to deny the orb. Like, keloqz was 1 away from getting his Blade Storm, so they're just trying to stop that from coming online a little sooner, and now he's been dropped a rifle. Like, he initially started things off with a pistol, but instead they're trying to set him up in order to get that online, and actually, they're gonna go straight into Brave! That is the worst gun you could have met in that position.
I honestly... nukkye was lucky to get out of there alive. That nade landed just a second, a fraction of one, after he had crossed out from heaven. Derke is gonna leave. And that is open space for G2. They're going to capitalize on that right away. At least they're going to try, but those steps are being heard. Derke is pushed down mid, and he's going to completely cut them off. He's letting them by. He knows the timing now is perfect. They're still watching forward, conscious that he could be coming. But again, they're not going to see him. He has the angle and drops nukkye. Ult goes through, and there's Meddo down and out. spike in main. Round is over. AvovA would have to perform a miracle to get this one planted.
Yeah, he's just going to try and fight them, but even still, there's another player elsewhere, and Derke is just not losing a duel at the moment. We've always raved about his jet, but, well, I think you're seeing evidence already just within the first few rounds that his raise is just as good, maybe even better.
Yeah, I mean, look, not a lot there that he couldn't have done with the jet either, though, right? He's just pushing down mid slowly. It's the reading of the space, of the timing on these rotations, and once he heard those steps, it was over and done. I guess you couldn't do that with a jet, but it's more so the fact that I reckon he could have killed Meddo too. It's a fight, but the ult comes in handy in that moment for sure. Altogether gorgeous stuff, and we're up and away. Nukkye is up through mid and trying to fight them before the rounds even started.
It seems like Magnum's more than aware, though. He's fallen out of ropes, given up that control, and just allowing them to play with it, especially knowing that this is likely a weaker purchase coming out from G2. There's not really any need for this. Actually, the jump across allows AvovA the kill. Okay. Okay, now. What's that?
Running sprayed through smoke. That's something, isn't it? He's going to be upset with that. Magnum's got a good angle here, but they're checking it too. G2 are being so conscious of these ratty little angles that FNATIC are trying to catch them off guard with. They'll get onto the site. They'll receive a plant, and, well, they've got the advantage to play with. Derke has been heard moving into heaven, so that information still stands that they know where both these players are.
Mistic will make sure that heaven control is at least clear, and while Meddo has the information that they're trying to fight back in towards the ramp. The positions right now from G2 are decent, and Mistic, he doesn't even have much ammunition within his gun. The first kill will go his way, and actually he gets out of there, leaving things into a 2v2. The res straight away brings keloqz back, but he'll know that there's a couple of players in this position. Unfortunately, there was absolutely nothing he could do about it, and Derke has no choice but to save.
Yeah, a good attempt, really, but once that res comes through, it's just too safe. 3v2 time on their side. Derke is miles away now, looking to save this weapon. He'll do so successfully. No one really close by. But the rest of the team's economy, I'm not too sure where that's at. But, you know, when you're on the split defensive side, you can make it work. Even if you've got some weaker credits in there, I imagine we'll see likes of some judges or something like that coming out. We've already seen it used for the heaven hold, but it was unsuccessful.
Brave's been using it in most rounds. It's just grotesque. Like, if you're AvovA on the other side, it's like, well, what do I even do against that?
After such a bad first half to the previous map, you know, you just want to get into this new agent, new map, forget about it. You know, hey, I got a kill, and then you get running sprayed through a smoke. Like, it's gotta be feeling. Oh, that's an aggressive push coming out of FNATIC.
Okay, he's got res.
No, can't res.
He's not gonna get the chance to use it. nukkye trying to find the player on Spice. Actually, is going to be able to find it. And not really anything coming through for nukkye.
They know.
An ult that gave him some space, but the space is worthless.
And he knew there was a player on site. He decided not to kill that player so he could come into spawn and maybe catch them off guard. Even though they knew he was there, though.
Oh, dear.
Oh, no. Oh! What? I've never seen anyone win that fight. Not like that. At least he gets shut down afterwards. They know where nukkye is, and the spike is down on a different map practically as far as nukkye is concerned. 50 seconds, so he has time to make it on a loop-de-loop all the way around. And that's going to be a little bit of a problem for FNATIC. Like, nowhere is safe.
Yeah, it's a long rotate, though, especially if you're walking the whole way. By the time he gets the spike, he's almost dedicated to going in towards B. It's going to be very difficult. Now, MAGNUM, there's no way he expects this, but, well, he's not going to be quite as lucky as Meddo was on those ropes and won't get anything for it. 3-3, a break back from the side of FNATIC, and, well, the economy on the other side's not fantastic, but it will still work.
Well, an important round, and it almost flips because of a man sliding down a rope, killing someone, getting so much control. A Brave did well to grab two there, and it was before the grab well or any of that even came in. You know, none of that was live and online. The decision to go for the res afterwards as well. FNATIC 3-3. In a comfortable enough spot. You're going to use a Viper's Pit very early on to take control of A.
Oh, straight up mid. Again, we see G2 battle, and again, Brave is waiting on the other side. Could be anything found within the smoke early. It's been a battle that nukkye has won, or whoever's been waiting outside that B site has won quite often, mainly because of the aggression of Mistic looking for those players outside and looking for the map control ultimately. But for now, ended in a little bit of a stalemate. And yeah, you could just see it's so ratty. It's just like, yeah, go on. You know I'm here. I know I'm here. But who's going to make the first move?
Listen, it's the man behind the Bucky FC strategy. Well, what can we say? Can't really be surprised.
He's learning the history.
Oh, Mistic.
Ooh.
That's unfortunate. The push comes out of Brave. He can't really stay up there. He's just going to get killed from sight, and instead he gets killed from mid. Very patient play from G2. Like I said earlier, they're ready for these ratty plays. But when it comes to heads-up duels here, Boaster's at least gotten a leg up as he moves towards the site.
Spike planted.
Oh, he's going to be caught in the corner with the paranoia and the swing out from nukkye. It's an easy dunk, leaving MAGNUM. And the problem is his position is one where he will almost indefinitely get flanked if he actually tries to go for anything here. You can see the sneak up coming through from Meddo, and, well, with the time already ticking, chances of winning the round is nigh on impossible. I think he's just going to try and hold onto the gun and maybe catch someone on the way out.
The best opportunity, really. At least make it costly. I mean, just take a look at G2's credits, and remember, you tap scoreboard, you can see that in the game. FNATIC know that there's not really a lot working for G2 here. After the investment, if they could drop, you know, 1 or 2 more rifles, it would have been great. It would have kept that economy low, but Meddo has avoided death and dealt it to FNATIC, leaving the lead into G2's hands. Lots of rifles to play with, and FNATIC have got practically nothing. Now it's defensive side. They can still, you know, they can still do a lot in holding down some of these choke points. But G2 have not really given those opportunities away. Every peak that they take, if there is an associated risk, they use utility to mitigate it almost every time.
I think the only person that's really been able to negate that has been Derke. Just his aggressive plays have been the only real success for FNATIC so far, and any other form of aggression... I was about to say he gets caught, but there you go. That was barely even aggression.
I don't know, you can call
Brave
that
was already dead.
The man was behind a wall. There's aggression, though, and they're running straight down. Derke is the man to do the damage with the sheriff in his hands, but his teammate falls. And so the advantage sticks towards the attacking side, who's already pushed out and received the B site. Control is all theirs, and Meddo's even lurking. You're a ratty player, Meddo. He has ruined Derke's day.
Spike planted.
Boaster, I don't know if he even realizes that a player's gone in towards the spawn, and while MAGNUM is probably sick of it at this point, he's playing the A site because there has been very little pressure there over the last few rounds, which is interesting because a lot of the time I feel like teams would almost shy away from hitting into B because it can be incredibly tough to try and break through all of this utility. Fact is, though, G2 are doing an incredible job, and 5 rounds already on the attacking side of this map. I'm starting to get very worried for FNATIC.
Oh, yeah. Let's say that plainly. G2 cannot win any more rounds at this point. You know, they've already had a fantastic half. The foundation's built for what, even without a pistol round, can still be a pretty decent defensive side coming into the next. But then you add to that, you know, there's plenty of rounds left to play with, and FNATIC are once again backed into a corner economically. Now, they do have a lot of ultimates, and Derke is about to get his online as well. But the fact is, if they lose this round, they do not have money for the next one. And so G2 can snowball this game out of control. Comebacks are possible, but you do not want to be coming back on attack side split.
Okay, nice start from keloqz, just taking this aggressive fight to the opponents. But that's the thing, he's almost just being used as bait. The pull is going to be in towards this B site. The straight TP to the back of site will grant them that back site control. And although the full rotation has now come in from the remaining players, is there much they can do about it?
Well, they've at least got to slow down, but it hasn't slowed G2 from making it to the site.
Spike down.
The showstopper about to end any hope of Hoodie getting in there. Okay, the spray goes a little bit out of control towards the end. 5-4, good recovery by FNATIC, a much needed round. Another very heavy cost, though. They used the showstopper in that one, and although it didn't, you know, win them the round necessarily, it is now gone. It's out of play, and that could be a very valuable piece of utility, you know, missing for the next couple of rounds. Used to secure it here, though, so it's worthwhile.
Yeah, to be honest, with how many kills Derke is getting at this point, he'll probably be online in a couple of rounds anyway.
Very
So
true.
I guess it's not that much of a detriment. And that round, as you said, it's hugely valuable. The problem is, with how well G2 has been doing at keeping things clean on their attacker side, they have plenty for this buy. keloqz even going to have an operator, which is not something he's really been utilizing so much so far.
He was out staring at a lamppost. Here we go. Nukkye is on his way across now, but he's not going to be able to find Brave. Good early fight for FNATIC. They're going to maintain control of Heaven. They've got still a very nice A hold with information. They're jiggle peeking for the players coming out ramp, and they were wide peeking for the players coming out B main. But keloqz was a man on a mission, taking that kill they know. And FNATIC don't have a res right now, so that's an opening duel that they can back away from happily. AvovA needs to be careful though.
And while Boaster's going to be able to get back that information, AvovA will be suppressed, but it's him backing away, and more importantly, the rest of the players are starting to build up outside of this A site. There has been a very aggressive push. This time, though, look at Brave. He's all the way up through the back of B. He might even catch AvovA in mid. AvovA has no idea that he's going to be there, and I believe that, oh no, the smoke did at least go off. So they'll be able to catch it, but it won't matter. Magnum spam gets another, and now the time is ticking.
They can't even get the spike. You know, there was a snake bite inside a poison orb. You do not push into that, you will die. And that lesson learned the hard way. A couple players tagged up. They're going to back out and try to save this with low time on the clock. G2 stopped again. The question is whether they get away with these weapons or not. There's no chance the round goes their way. At this point, I don't think there's any chance that FNATIC push them. They're going to save these rifles through.
Mistic has got to feel like so cursed at this point that every time he has pushed B, and the A site, it's been a decent hold all the way throughout. So if your initial play is no longer working, what's going to be the adaptation there? And that's what I want to see out from G2.
Well, no surprise that we're seeing an early Viper's Pit in such a pivotal round. FNATIC are going to invest that to have a much lighter hold on the A side, but that means they've got to deliver on B. This is where they've put most of their resources. Same hold up on top of Cat, but this time they've got a nasty position by Mistic, who got boosted up here to start things off. We saw him jump into the corner just before we switched off, and obviously this is the fruits of that work. They've got to maintain control over Heaven. There's no way they give this up. Not when you've got a player tucked where he is. Oh, Mystic's good for one, and Derke assists with another. The Heaven play not even going to come through. That spike is now dropped on the floor, and G2 need to rethink this approach.
Yeah, I don't even know how you come back from that. Like, the spike being down in this position with a wall that locks you out from the site, at least for the moment. Like, Mistic can almost use that to his own advantage, and he has a crossfire with other players from the site to make sure that they can't get anywhere near this. A site, of course, is now completely clear, but it's irrelevant at this stage. And as said, there is so much utility on the side of FNATIC that they could hold them out for the remainder of the round.
Well, they've at least got the spike. AvovA misread that by a second or two, but he's made it out with his life. The smoke goes back down. 15 seconds, they're out. They've got to save. Yeah, there's no other choice.
10 seconds left. Here.
Yeah, it's one of those cheese plays. I also think that G2 got very unlucky with the exact play that they decided to make, because it was like, if you put the wall down normally, you're going to check the left-hand side because it's logical. You're going to go, okay, we wall the right, and then we check left. Instead, because you've walled the left, you check the right, and so you're instantly dead because you didn't expect that player to be able to see you at all because of the little like boost up that they did in the early round. So it was almost like FNATIC had the perfect counterplay to exactly what G2 wanted to do, and it was just coincidence.
At this point, I think G2 are feeling a little bit restless. You know, it's not nice to lose that many rounds in a row. Can start to make you reconsider things, play a little bit differently. Nukkye's not going to make it up into Heaven this time, but he is right down below them, and they have no idea. A man behind enemy lines, giving them the opening and the advantage to play with G2 wanting that 6th round, but they've lost keloqz. The res will come through. Luckily, he's down below, so they can't even spawn. That's worked out quite well.
Yeah, they need to clear AvovA. Holding the backlines with an operator. He's actually going to get legged up. He's got to be a little careful now, and Actually going to try and sneak him behind them. I thought for a second he might have just thread the needle, but instead Magnum is there waiting and watching as they now look to try and sneak back through. Mistic watching the flank, leaving just 2 players surviving over on that other side. One of them is Hoody, and he's going to use that Cosmic Divide to his benefit, sneaking through, picking off a first, and now Meddo needs to try and make a play of his own, just sneaking back through the corner. Another one comes up, it's all onto Hoody, and he's going to end up with 4 kills. What a round from him and G2.
Wow. 6-6 at the halftime and a well-deserved round out of G2. They hung in there for quite a while. It was a bumpy ride towards the end, but such is the attack side on Split. That's very much what we were warning about coming into this map. But now, with 6 rounds, the foundations are, I mean, they are strong. You've already got the first floor built. All they got to do now is put in the final tweaks. This pistol round would certainly help them out with it. A remarkable clutch by Hoody on that backside, though. Especially where he was. It's a wall-bangable position.
Well, that's the thing. It was a decent retake. I actually, it's the curse. It's the curse of the Cosmic Divide. Like, I feel like that actually gave him enough space to play around. Otherwise, he probably would have been dead. And it was mainly used, I think, to more so section off Meddo and just isolate him as a teammate. But instead, it ended up completely working against FNATIC.
Oh, there's 2 players, 3, 4 spotted. That's a lot of information. AvovA's going to get a smoke out before he's getting hit by that knife. They're playing with utility out there. Nukkye didn't seem to think they'd be that close already. FNATIC have just overrun A, and this is going to be a free plant.
Ooh, okay. Hoody's definitely feeling it after the last round. Brings things back into a workable position. They've still got a clear Brave, who is just trying to hold on to that ramp control. And in fact, he's got his whole team with him. The swing might be a little bit of a surprise, but they're actually winning every single duel that goes their way. The reclaim doesn't work, and now only 2 remain.
In fact, only 1. That flash not quite landing onto everybody. We are going to see the defuse for G2. As I said, the pistol carries an immense value when you're already at 6-6. Getting a leg up on the defensive side now. This is looking very scary for FNATIC. They have got a big task ahead of them to make this work, and it starts in the next round, really. In this one, it should just be a write-off of an eco.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. Oh. Okay. Boaster just baiting. I see him buy a Spectre shields, and I'm like, oh, maybe they're going to try and risk it. They did get a plant.
Oh.
Oh,
okay.
There we go. They are going to risk it. Risk it for a biscuit. Try and bounce straight back already. keloqz not going to be able to dash out of there, but not far enough forward that's going to cause too many problems. Going back, that's the thing. They don't know that this is a full investment up from FNATIC. Boaster actually gets one with a frenzy.
Oh, you are so nasty. I think someone was peeking there with the classic when they had a rifle. But either way, they concealed the kind of buy that they had until they allowed that extra risk to be taken by keloqz. You know, he's like, I reckon I can turn around and get one here. And as he sticks around, overstays his welcome. Who comes barreling through that wall? But 3 Spectres just spraying him down. He's flashed. He doesn't know what's going on, where he is. I mean, that is... if that had hit him... if he watched it come all the way down mid and then it just got him in vent, that would be beautiful.
It was tracking him. There's a few low players, but this would still have to be one for the ages for the remaining players of G2. Nice start from nukkye. Gets out of there without really taking any damage either. And an extra kill here would grant him a nade, which could be enough to pick off 1 more. Now, Brave is still in this corner. Hasn't been able to escape just yet. And Boaster's so desperately low that there's not really going to be much option for a trade. It's on to nukkye to try and do it all, leaving it down to just a couple left.
Right, nade.
The time starting to tick away, and they almost line up for him. So deadly in every single scenario. But this time, the round's FNATIC's.
I mean, the attempt at fighting back into that from nukkye it was masterful. And the difference there between victory and a loss, I mean, look how low. You can see it there. One of the players, it's Boaster, he's literally 1 HP. And if He had been taken down in the initial fight. If nukkye hadn't jumped off the top of that box, there's so many different things. If Boaster's gone, that's a 1v1. I have no doubt nukkye wins it.
Fact is, though, FNATIC still won with a 4-spy.
There.
And on the other side of things, they're going to have to come back into this with pistols. Now, nukkye is not that far away from getting his ult online, which, yeah, it's fairly ludicrous considering they managed to lose that round, but that's one of the only ways I really see them winning this, if he can somehow get that into play. But now, though, FNATIC taking their time, not over-facing. They know that they've just won a round of a 4, so probably going to play this one a little bit safer, and while they're rewarded for it.
With AvovA gone, I mean, plenty of options for FNATIC. Only one player was spotted super passive. I mean, you see in Mistic outside A doesn't indicate anything that needs to rotate. With the pistols, you know, it's likely that they just group up, right? Try to stick together, use the numbers to their advantage. FNATIC are going to counter that by doing the exact same. Just guarantee they can trade from this point out, and it's home free. And then indeed, heaven's clear, side's clear. They know at this point that, yeah, they've picked the right side.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, this comes down more so to what G2 can do on the exits. Keeping these pistols into the next round serves no value. You're not looking at players investing into much else either, so they can steal a gun away, or more importantly, stop the FNATIC guys from keeping every single one of their weapons. That's more important for them, or even just getting closer to some of those ultimates. Now, MAGNUM's about to have a lot of players pushing his way, and he handles it pretty well. Taking 2 before he falls, no chance for Meddo to claim anything else, and now it's left onto keloqz. Even a single kill here would be beneficial.
And that he'll be able to deliver on. But he needs to die. He's just going to sprint forward, make them kill him. Oh. Yeah, I didn't expect him to be in the corner. Thought maybe they'd run away. Fair enough. He just wanted to catch that spike before it receded, and he was left there with a sheriff for the next round.
Yeah, we saw that from Scream earlier. He did so much damage that it didn't. I wouldn't even say it was that bad, but yeah, not ideal, that's for sure. But yeah, good read from FNATIC. They keep that one clean enough, I suppose. And now they're in a sort of weird quasi round, because it's not so much a bonus because they managed to win a force, but there are still some weaker weapons in there, and they can still invest into the next round. The more important thing, though, is they're actually very close to a lot of ultimates and even have a Viper's Pit available.
Satchel out.
Certainly going to give you a boost in a lot of these late rounds. That's going to wall hack video, isn't it? Well, if Boaster's not cheating in this turn. I love it. Well, look, with all the control that FNATIC have right now, okay, the wall's up in B, but they're pushing it. I'm a little bit scared. I was more looking towards the A site for combat, but different ideas in the camp of G2. They're just running on in, looking to take these weapons down. A strange time to do it when they've got the bonus to play effectively, right? They've got those weaker weapons in hand. Oh no. The distraction in B mains left keloqz caught off guard, blindsided. The site falls easily after losing heaven. G2 are left with no choice but to save, right? 2v4? Then I see nukkye's online. This happens every time. I'm like, oh, okay. He'll sit around, try to find some kills, and they might win.
It's funny as well, because his teammate is already gone. So I know we're saving, and he's like, there's still a chance. You don't believe in me, you fool? Fine.
What if 3 of them pushed me? I would have killed them all and we'd win.
He's like, and then Meddo on the other side, so you're coming to save? And he's like, shut up. Oh god, yeah, I feel like a lot of that round just came down to a little bit of tunnel vision from keloqz. Like, it just so ready to try and catch the players as they pushed out of main. It didn't realize that he was the only player actually left still defending middle, so could have come down to communication. As said, it could have come down to just tunnel vision. And while 9-7 up with a Sage on the attacking side, it doesn't really work as well. So that's where Boaster will need to step up to the plate.
Granted, Derke does also need to play a lot of the entry, right? Especially on the attack side. But when it comes to defensive side, yeah, you need to put up the numbers there. It's what we come to expect. Look at the credits for FNATIC right now. After just winning those just 3 rounds in a row. But after winning those 3 rounds, they're stacked up. Their economy is peaked. Their ultimates are starting to come online as well. Things are going to feel comfortable. But I say that, look at G2's ult economy. It is dangerously close. And in a round like this, where you have 2 rifles, but if nukkye gets a kill, he has a showstopper. And Meddo, okay, well, not that excited about that, but nukkye could do a lot of damage and really turn the tides of this round.
Yeah, it might help them with their gamble at least. And right now, it seems like it's in the right spot. They're trying to throw in this fake. I like it. Look how perfectly this has worked. They've got all of the utility, the stars being put down, the cosmic divide. They even have Boaster over there like, oh, look at this knife. Are you suppressed? Well, there's no one else here, lads. And they've even actually used a Viper's Pit. Probably not knowing that it may not be needed in this sort of round, but they are very well set up. That is how you sell a fake, ladies and gentlemen.
I actually think with these ultis like Showstopper, Rez about to come online, it's not a bad time to use that ulti. You'll probably have Viper's Pit before the game's over if it ends up being an extenuated game, if you don't just close it out. And then the other ultimates are here for the near future, right? For these next couple rounds. The key thing being that G2 are so close to so many ultis, that Showstopper could come online any moment, and having something like this to play inside of can help you secure that round. You see that in the fact that nobody has died on FNATIC yet. They're still on the site despite these pistols rushing in. Eventually, though, they get a little bit too close. The time is low, though, so the round's already won. Ultimately, oh god, they've been ruined. They've been absolutely destroyed in those fights. Even though they have lost a lot of weapons, I think that Viper's Pit is what saved the round, really.
Yeah, they just played within it and baited out the time, and G2 just went, all right, you stay in there and you die with that spike. So I think both teams actually come out of that in an okay spot. Like G2 fell hook, line, and sinker for the fake, but they take down, what, 4 players with what was mostly pistols? That's fine. Now they come in with a buy of their own. You mentioned those ultimates. Well, now 3 of them, and more notably, the most important 3, are all online.
How dare you?
They're in an okay spot.
How dare you speak so ill of Omen?
Yeah. He can TP to the other side of the map.
Ooh.
Fast
that could
rotate.
be helpful for spotting fakes.
True.
But yeah, no, obviously G2 are in a fantastic position right now. They have a good position in early round. They're on defensive side split, and ultimates are online. This is their best shot at stopping FNATIC from taking it all the way, especially because FNATIC don't have their ultis either. They are sat here having to play a vanilla round against a stacked G2.
They have to win this. If they don't, it looks like it's over, especially because although FNATIC lost all those players, financially they are fine. Like, they will buy into the next round no matter what. So it's definitely an important one. And again, it seems like a lot of this is going to be put onto keloqz' shoulders, especially with no mid control. Like, 4 players currently around B. Even if he does get the first kill, he's probably going to come under pressure elsewhere. Like, this setup is incredibly bold.
Cypher almost got caught in that as well. If he got caught by that, he was done. keloqz is dashed back into 2 players after 1 kill. Showstopper's used. Little does Derke know, he doesn't need to use that in this round. They have the site, and I'm sure FNATIC are about as perplexed as we are to see that setup. And, oh, it hasn't worked. Now G2 have to pick up the pieces.
Yeah, this needs to be an impeccable retake, and while the ultimates they would have used are somewhat diminished, they might be able to at least try and bring back one. Mistic, he already gets the first. It's going to be traded out. Hoodie's actually found another, but the flash is solid from Boaster, and they now have that heaven control. And this is where things become so difficult. The main play is just going to be smoke and try and get onto that spike. Try and hold on. The flash is good, but they have the lineup. The ping onto the spike is not going to deny anything, and they know now that AvovA's within this. Great setup from FNATIC, perfectly played by them, and I do have to question that a little bit from G2 because it looked like FNATIC basically just played them.
Listen, this is where I stand on that. This setup was not terrible from G2. It's a gamble. That's the problem. And the gamble didn't pay off. Now, the time that they have chosen to make that gamble at 10-7, their economy on a thin line, and you're seeing the results here. They're going to use a Blade Storm right away. Even with that, they don't have a full buy. Hoodie having to play with a Sheriff. All in all, G2 took a massive risk, and the reward whilst it could have been good, I don't know that it outweighs what they're now going to have to play with to recover it.
Looks like they've got the gamble wrong again. This is another spot where basically one player is left to try and hold on to things. A rotation will at least come through, but as you mentioned, Hoody is left with just a pistol. Okay, he's gonna get himself one, and actually hits a pretty heavy tag onto the second. AvovA is slowly being pulled out of position, and his spot might be given away in just a moment. Derke will take one, but here comes keloqz, looking to try and do this on his own, but the knives have missed, and brought back into a 2v2.
They're pushing up Brave though. The crossfire's there. Mistic spotted, now stuck behind the wall. He's gonna go out, and Meddo survives with a sliver of health. 8 HP and 8 rounds for G2. That is a lifeline of a round. If they lost that, it was game over, man.
I'm sweating for them. Like the amount of stuff that just seemed to go wrong initially. Again, just the clapback coming through from keloqz with that blade storm. He seems to be so strong with it at the moment. With the fly through, misses the last, and then it almost manages to go in Mistic's favor. As said, 8 HP, a single bullet would have been enough to basically what it looks like close out this game. Instead, well, there is a purchase, but again, it's not a great one. There are pieces missing. You've got the operator, but you don't have the shields. You have pieces of utility missing for nukkye as well. So it really is another last-ditch effort.
keloqz taking a much more aggressive stance, and around middle, G2 will follow suit. Utility used to open some space. Those smokes, though, although they stop FNATIC, they're also stopping G2 from following up on this side that they're stacked on. It looks like they want FNATIC to push into them. Maybe they're content to just run down the clock. Looks like they're going to get exactly what they want, as FNATIC are creeping ever closer to middle.
Whoa. Brave getting a haircut for a second. Derke has managed to find one, but he's got his backup. We highlighted Brave as that supportive player. Well, he's just found such an impactful double. keloqz again is left alone to try and fight versus the might of FNATIC, and they might not even push him. They are slowly starting to back away, expecting the rotation to come in. They are, however, going to back straight into Meddo, who is waiting.
Oh, yeah, he's spotting it. Help Sir is already called. The rotate's coming on in. Meddo down below, able to at least catch one more. But now they're surely going to swarm him. He'll do well to stay alive, if at all. But no, he's down, and keloqz is a little bit late on that rotate. The spike will be planted, and a 1v3 commences. He'd already dropped his rifle in anticipation, ready now to play with this Vandal in hand. A really tough clutch ahead of him. And he's going to be spotted. The barrel seen right away by Mistic. That's 12 for FNATIC.
Yeah, they did incredibly well. Like, and this is the thing. Like, you've got Derke as the tip of the spear, but I'm giving him plaudits again. Like, Brave was just so ready. He was just watching, just making sure that there was no way anybody could get aggressive and take down the star fragger of the team. And after that point, everything just fell apart. Like, trades back through the smoke, and FNATIC now have their 12s. And this is the damage, Mitch. This is the main problem. The damage to the economy of G2. Ultimates, not ones that you can really use proactively either, unless you're going to basically try and run in, get a kill, and have the res. Like, it's just not going to work. So this is going to be a tough round, and they need it.
Well, they need every single one. That's the thing. Match and series point here for FNATIC, and they open it up by taking down nukkye. The pistols are doing practically nothing. The rifles follow suit. Meddo, the last remaining man, walled out of heaven. FNATIC have got complete control of this. Their whole team still alive. An impossible clutch ahead of him, and what seems to be a successful opening to 2022 for FNATIC.
Oh, Meddo is about to try and prove you wrong. A 1 versus 5. It does not seem likely. The time already starting to tick, and with the positions that are currently held, utility going to be disabled as well, and the G2 fans asking an impossible task of one of the new boys on the block, and I don't even know where he goes from here. Boaster's going for a knife. I think he saw Redguard do that earlier and was like, you know what, I can steal that one away. Instead, Brave, the new boy is going to close things out. FNATIC will get their first victory on the board, a hard-fought one at that. And honestly, after seeing the matches today, I think we have some pretty open groups, Mitch.
That we do, yeah. There's certainly some discussion there. G2 delivered today. They did well.